this is how we get down. Welcome. And it's a vibe today. I'm feeling good today. Coming off a solid Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden. This is a gigantic day as we spread the content out here at BTT Studios. I'll get to that in just a second. As always, I am the coach. I navigate this ship, and today we have 4 big shows. Count them, 4. But before we look forward, we must look back. And because I suck, we do not have a merchandise giveaway today. I lose one of my plays by 1 point. 243, it was 244. But 4 and 6, not horrible. Lost some juice. We'll get right back on the horse today. I got some amazing picks, and the entire team has some amazing picks. But I mentioned today's a big day, and we're always sitting around, me, producer man, Mikey P, the whole team, about how we can expand all of our content and bring you more shows from our studios. And so today, for premium members at our BTT side, we've been talking about it for a long time, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Our very first live watch-along of a match. We're going to do at least one a month. It costs $7, for God's sake. Newpodorder.com, or we will put, for those of you watching on YouTube, the link will be in the chat. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Vince Russo has never watched this match, Rock and Hogan. I was a part of it. Me and The Rock had a skit prior to this match. 80,000 people in Toronto. I can't wait to give you my take on that night from my perspective, and also the greatest writer of all time, Vince Russo, who's never seen it. He's never seen it. So join us for our first live watch-along tonight. Now, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, it is episode number 3. The first 2 weeks, the numbers way outdid our projections. Me and JD from New York. He's polarizing. He's engaging. He'll say pretty much anything. It is 10 topics. It's 2.5 minutes. We get in, we get out. We also engage with you. That's at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time on our BTT YouTube page or right here also on social media. And never forget, we have a little show on a platform called SiriusXM, channel 156. Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 for those of you who love to drive around and listen on the radio or on the SiriusXM app at SiriusXM Sports. Is that enough content for all of you? I think it is. But I am laser focused. I have that ability every single show to just separate it out. And I'm focused right here over the course of the next 60 minutes. Who's the best team in the Eastern Conference for the NBA? 3 teams have qualified for the playoffs. Also, we have a very special individual thumbs up, thumbs down. And South Carolina, the women, they qualify yet again for the Final Four, but at what cost? We'll tackle all of that, but we start with putting cash in your back pocket. And you guys know on Tuesdays, I've got a crew that they're competitive, but they're also together. They're impatient, and they're always ruining my flow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time. Let's beat those damn books. All right, our usual Tuesday crew is here, and I got to go right to the middle square because I mentioned, young Peyton, that South Carolina's 6th straight Final Four, but we got to give you and your ladies, you are a big part of the women's basketball program, calling games, producing, directing, all that kind of stuff. Elite 8, not too bad for you guys at TCU.
Yeah, I had to do my last post-game show last night, Coach. Oh, it was so emotional. Rough night last night for my TCU Horned Frogs. Women's basketball team makes it to the Elite 8, but they end up getting smoked last night by a really darn good South Carolina team. Great season for women's basketball. Back-to-back Elite 8s now, last 2 seasons, Coach. So really impressive stuff, but the gap between the Final Four teams, which is now back-to-back Final Four appearances for the same 4 teams last season, the gap between them, between the 4 teams and the 5th one is huge. And I think that's the biggest thing in women's basketball right now.
And that's been an issue, Peyton, for years and years and years now. And I don't know what the fix is. I really don't. But it's going to take young, talented girls to go to different schools. That's what it's going to take because all the top players go to UConn, South Carolina, now UCLA, and whatever the fourth, Texas.
Yep.
And you got to have these young girls go to different places to spread them out. But easier said than done. But well done by you. And I guarantee you, KTCU will continue on with you despite TCU women going out. Now, this man has been super busy in front of the camera and behind the camera, becoming vital at what we do as we expand here at BTT Studios. Mikey P, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday. I'm ready to go, ready to rock, and ready to hit the gas pedal on this week.
Wow, very focused, laser focused, Mikey P. And finally, he's got the best damn beard in the game. You read all of his stuff over there. Prize Picks USA. Soupy, what's good?
What's going on, everybody? I was rooting for TCU last night because then they would have played UConn in that Final Four. Maybe me and Peyton could have had a little bit of a wager for that matchup, which I probably would have won because UConn's just the best team in the country right now.
And has been for 30. It must get boring for you. It must get boring.
No, it really isn't. It is exciting every time they win around it. It really is.
Yeah. You gave it away for a couple of years just to make it fun for everybody else.
Yes.
I think Gino just complains just to have fun with himself. That's what I believe. All right, gentlemen, you guys saw that I sucked on Monday. 0-2. I lose one by 1 point, the other one by a few. So I need to bounce back today. And I want to give away some merch on tomorrow's show. So we've got to get it going. So I have one very simple question. Peyton, Soupy, so slow. Mikey P, my guy, best bet. Start us off.
I'm going to try to have a coming to Jesus moment with the city of Philadelphia. I've been very vocal about my dislike for that city. I'm wearing a Phillies hat today. I've got 2 plays on the Phillies, all plays on the diamond today. Welcome to the show, Andrew Painter. He had a very impressive spring training. He is a rookie starter. He is starting tonight for the Phillies, and I like the Phillies -1.5 tonight, as well as Andrew Painter. 5 or more strikeouts against the Washington Nationals. I don't know who these Nationals are. It's about time. We're 5 games in. It's about time teams start coming down to earth, all right? This is baseball. Let's get with the program. The Nationals are supposed to be bad. The Phillies are supposed to be good. Let's turn that around. And speaking of bad being good, how about the Colorado Rockies putting up 14 runs yesterday against the Toronto Blue Jays? Yeah, we're going to reverse that narrative as well today, Coach. Give me the Blue Jays -1.5. I know these are 2 1.5 run line plays today, but I've got a very strong feeling about the better teams on paper turning it around today.
Can I just say that if you're the schedule makers for Major League Baseball, you got to think, and you want the first week or two to be matchups and teams that people want to come out and see because it's still school's in session. Do you think the Rockies and the Blue Jays, they're screaming, "Hey, Ma! Hey, Ma! Can we go to the game today?" No. Sad. But I like the plays. 3 big ones. Let's get it started. 3 check marks. All right, let's come right next door. Young Peyton, you're up.
Well, Coach, someone needs to play the Rockies. Someone needs to play the White Sox. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to take the bullet. All right, I got very simple nuggets to complement my 2 picks today. The first one is the Dodgers to cover tonight simply because they lost last night. That Dodgers lineup was held scoreless through 8 innings last night. There's no way that lineup is quiet tonight with Kyle Tucker in there. Freddie Freeman, for goodness sake, was hitting 5th last night. What in the world was that? And combine that with Ohtani on the mound tonight. Yeah, I'll take the Dodgers to cover the 1.5. And my Angels are playing tonight, so you know what that means, guys. Opposing team's pitcher over strikeouts. James Tyone, he's at 6+, plus 130. That is great value for a guy going against the Halos. And yeah, first game of the year, I took the Angels over the strikeouts. And yeah, Hunter Brown had 8. And the Angels still got the win. So not necessarily saying the Angels are going to lose this game because Jose Soriano's one heck of a pitcher. He's on the mound for the Halos. But they are going to strike out at the plate with all those strikeouts they have in their lineup.
Hey, the Angels are just doing Angel things. They win their first 2 games of the year, and now they're on a 3-game losing streak. Let's go, Angels. Come on. ESPN 830 Sports Lodge. Let's go. All right, Soupy, 2 big plays. Go.
I'm going to start on the ice. I'm going Canadians Lightning over 6.5. I cannot believe this is at plus 105, just because these are two very good offenses, both averaging 3.5 goals per game. At times, their defense can be inconsistent, and both matchups have gone over the total this season. So I think it's going to be another high-scoring game with both teams looking for a playoff spot. And I'm going the NBA. I'm going Clippers minus 5.5. Right now, they are 2.5 games up on the Trailblazers for that 8th seed, giving them a little bit of cushion. And as you know, in the 8th seed for the play-in tournament, it's important because if you lose that 7-8 game, you still have one more chance to get into the playoff. So I think that is important. The Clippers want that cushion. And I'm going to steal one from Charles here. I'm going to do a stay on your toes play with this game. I'm going Darius Garland, 25 plus points and assists. Garland has been hot for this team. This was a great acquisition, it looks like now, averaging 25 points and 7 assists over his last 5 games. I think he keeps it going for them. He's really become the commander of that offense to help Kawhi Leonard.
Look at Soupy getting out of his comfort zone with 3 plays today. A Raphael clap for young Soupy. Now, that flows right into my plays because you said the 8th spot is very important. Well, I would say the 7th spot is even more important because you get the home game in the play-in tournament. That's exactly where the Suns find themselves right now. And the Suns are playing at Orlando tonight. And the Suns have won a couple of games in a row. Orlando's on a free fall. The other night, they set an NBA record by allowing 31 points in a row without scoring 1 point against the Rockets. 31 points in a row without scoring 1 point against the Rockets. So give me the Suns plus money tonight, minus 108. Rockets plus money at home against the Knicks. There is no respect for Houston at all right now. The Knicks just got blown out. I call it double-digit win, a blowout by the Thunder. I think the Knicks, when they're on the road, they're a much different team than when they play at home in the friendly confines of MSG. So I love the Rockets tonight, who right now are sitting in that 6th spot. They are 3.5 games up on the 7th spot, so they have a lot of motivation to win. The Knicks, on the other hand, they're sitting in the 3 spot. They're 1 game ahead of the 4 spot, 2 back. I don't know how much motivation there is there because they're still going to have home court in the first round. So, Soupy, real quick, I did not know that we were going to educate the audience today on new lingo when we're giving out picks. I've never heard 105 before on odds. Where do you get that from in the betting dictionary?
I'm trying to revolutionize the game. That's why I'm going to give my own lingo. The world is going to be saying that by next week.
I have no doubt. That's the problem. I have no doubt that they will. Mikey? What are your thoughts on 108, 110, 115, 103 nickels?
Coach, I want to do more work for BTT Studios after this show, but I got to go get the Soupynomics Encyclopedia. So if you don't mind, I'm going to need a little bit of a break today.
We got to make a real one. We have to make a real one. I'm serious, Soupy.
It would make War and Peace look like a pamphlet.
Yes, it would. I would love to ask him if he knows what War and Peace is about, but that'd be a whole nother rabbit hole that we don't want to go down. All right, gentlemen, well done. So we got 6, 9, a stay on your toes, 10, 7 and 3. And we have a Coach and Brolette wheel spin tomorrow, 7 and 3. I'm feeling good about it. All right, we're just getting started here. It's a vibe. Did I tell you we have 4 big shows today? Oh, yeah, we have 4 big shows today. But on the other side, it's front page of news. South Carolina, the women continue to dominate in women's basketball in college, but at what cost? And also, what's the biggest storyline coming out of Major League Baseball after 5 days? It's not an undefeated team. I will tell you that. We're just getting started. My guys, my crew, producer man, I am the coach, and this is Coach and Company. As always, right here, love being on the Stadium Network. Come on back. All right, you degenerates out there. We continue on here on our YouTube page during the break. And, guys, I got to tell you, apparently NFL stars getting their ass kicked by flag football specialists have inspired a bunch of wealthy celebrities to get together and start a professional flag football league. Now, I don't have all the particulars yet, but Mikey P, let me start with you. Is this something that you will tune in for?
From afar. I think this is really good for the culture of the sport of football, which I think we always wanted to put in a box as it's getting too violent and then it's getting too soft. I think flag football opens up a global game for both young men and young women. So I think the sport of football, not necessarily flag football, will be the spotlight here.
Did you just really give me like the most serious take on flag football? We're talking about flag football. Peyton, lighten the mood a little bit. Damn.
Thank you. Yeah, flag football. I mean, I'm probably not going to be watching anybody pull flags, but I mean, it's fun to check it out for a little bit. It's fun to play, but it's one where you're not going to get hurt in. That's good. You can play the game without getting your head bashed into. That's nice. But
whoa! You're way too young. You don't remember the guy years ago during the Pro Bowl who completely dislocated his knee in a flag football game on the sand. Remember that one, Soupy? You remember that one? That's when they kind of did away with that stuff, didn't they?
And they did, but I think this is going to be something that is going to pick up some steam because when kids are initially starting football, a lot of leagues are doing just flag football for the first couple of years. And let's say your football days are over, you're in college maybe. What are you doing? You're playing intramural flag football. So now this sport is becoming identifiable for the average person more than tackle football is. And I think that's how it could pick up popularity.
You guys don't even know that you're staring at a person who was literally an All-American in the Nike flag football tournaments years ago. They had one in every NFL city. Your boy, Nationals, couldn't be stopped. Could not be stopped. We're back, front page news. 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is Coach and Company here on the Stadium Network, Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we have a very special edition of Thumbs Up or Thumbs Down. Gentlemen, we've got some topics that I want to get into, and sometimes when things look good, you go a little bit deeper, and they're not always so good. And you heard Peyton a few minutes ago talk about how there's a big gap between the 4 teams that are going to the Final Four and everybody else, but at a price. Here's the story. South Carolina, dominant, right there 1-2 with UConn as the top 2 programs in all of women's college basketball. The problem is, Mikey, they are operating every single year for the last 4 years on average at a $6 million a year deficit. They pay their head coach, Don Staley, $4 million a year, but losing millions of dollars in order to win. Make that make sense to me.
It doesn't. And I go back to the point that Peyton made. The gap between the top 4 teams in women's college basketball and everybody else is so wide that it makes women's college basketball almost unwatchable. And then if you want to root for South Carolina, how can you really get behind a program that you know is just losing money? If you're the program itself, how can you get really excited every single year? We're back in the Final Four. You have nothing to show for it. I'm with Subi. I just expect UConn to raise another banner while South Carolina looks at all their deficits financially. It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And here's where NIL, I think, not just on the men's side, Peyton, but also on the women's side, needs to come into play. Last night about 3 a.m., it's weird. I feel like people are watching us. I woke up and I looked, make sure my alarm was set because I get up at 5 a.m., and there was a story that came across my algorithm. And it was on a young lady from out here at Sierra Canyon, where Bronny Reed went, who has signed with South Carolina. She's the only female basketball player that has signed with Nike, and she went to school in Arizona. They don't allow high school NIL right now. So she moved to California so she could get the money from Nike, and now South Carolina's brought her in. But at what cost? Because if you have NIL parameters, then once your money runs out, then maybe that girl goes somewhere else or stays on the West Coast to go to USC or something like that. Am I making sense here?
Yeah, of course. We saw it with Juju Watkins, and to spend that much money on simply just winning, coach, is it's pretty crazy too. And because that's all they're doing, dude, they're just winning with head coach Don Staley. But like we had just mentioned, they're getting to the Final Four, and then what, right? You got to play UConn, you got to play Texas or UCLA on the other side of that bracket. So it's whatever team's good that given year. But the last couple of years, it's been the same group. And yes, they're within the doors of that top 4 team in the country, but they're not there yet, and they're not going to beat a UConn team right now.
So let's stay in women's basketball. And Soupy, I want to come over to you, topic number 2. And this is the WNBA. For some reason, all of these NBA owners caved, and they agreed to lose hundreds of millions of dollars in their new CBA. Good for them and good for the ladies. But they're expanding. And there's going to be a team in Toronto in addition to other places. They're actually going back to cities, Soupy, that they've already had a team. It failed. They closed it down, moved it, and let's go back to Detroit. Soupy, right now, what's with the I'm scared to say what's really going on, so we'll lose all this money in order to continue the game on?
I'm just going to talk about my bitterness for a minute because they are bringing a team back to Houston that failed. And of course, Connecticut Sun are leaving to go to Houston. I think the popularity is giving them sort of the drive to want to go back into these cities that once failed. Because the league is getting more popular now, thanks to Caitlin Clark, thanks to Angel Reese. It's starting to get more notable, so they're going to try to dip their toes back into some of these major cities where they lost teams initially in the early stages of this league. So they think it'll be more successful this time.
Mikey P, that's a great take from Soupy. Shockingly. Do you agree with it?
Well, I just want to make a call for justice here, guys. I think we all need to get together here at the brand. Look at Soupy, best damn beard in the game, but not a single smile on his face. You took the Connecticut Sun from him. He cannot be in Dallas going to Houston Comets games next year. This is unfair. This is unjust. We need to start the picketing, bring back the Connecticut Sun. I don't know what the WNBA is doing because I think you just want to focus on the teams that were being successful and were grabbing our attention and stop moving and throwing darts at a map and going, let's go there now.
I'm just scared that Soupy's going to walk up to Will Call in Dallas when the game's actually in Houston. That's what I'm really scared about down the line. All right, topic number 3, young Peyton. And I saved this one for you. It's a hashtag stay on your toes topic that I just threw in. So the Dodgers have been taking a lot of heat. And we've talked about how the $700 million deal with Shohei has already been paid for in 2 seasons. They're marketing, all the different things they're doing with Shohei already paid for, gravy for the rest of the 8 years. So they came out with a Shohei Ohtani souvenir cup. And originally, here it is. You even have the belt at the bottom. Very creative. $74.99. And free refills. Day of game only. A lot of heat. A lot of heat. So now they've changed it. And they came out and said, listen, we're changing. We listen to you. We hear you. We understand it was way too expensive at $74.99. Let me check my notes. It's now $68.99 for this. But hey, it's free refills all season long. Would you buy a cup then at $69 if you could bring it to the game every single day?
I guess it depends on how many games you go to, and you would add it all up at the end of the day. Yeah, you're probably going to spend $70, $100 on drinks. And simply answering your question, no, I wouldn't. It kind of reminds me of that Taylor Swift popcorn bucket that I never got, by the way. Just want to put that out there. But that was really expensive in the theaters a couple years ago.
Why do you have to throw a stray at Mikey P? That was completely unnecessary. Soupy, let me come over to you. This is kind of like when you sign up for something and then you don't cancel the subscription. It's such a brilliant marketing move because most people, if you don't have season tickets, you're going to maybe 1, maybe 2 games a season. So if you get this, it's still going to cost you $35 a drink. Your take?
I'm wondering what kind of beverages can I put in it? Can I put maybe adult beverages in there? Then yeah, that's worth the price.
They're never going to allow free beer. Never.
It's
But it's a good
California.
thought.
Who knows?
Producer Man says fountain drinks only. Yeah, you knew he was all over that. You can't get one past Producer Man. Stop it. Just stop it. Mikey P, would you pay for this at $68.99?
No, because I could probably go to half of the Chicago White Sox home games for that price. like, the craziest thing about these MLB ballpark food and drink specials, you have the 999 challenge in some of these stadiums, and they are the mini hot dogs and one beer. And they're like, could you drink all of it? One each inning? And now could you pay $69 for a cup? How about I just go watch really bad baseball for half the price baseball? Let's chill out.
I hate watching those videos on IG of the people trying to do the hot dog and beer one per inning. It's embarrassing. Like, especially, like, I've seen a few women do it, and they get to, like, 2 and 2. And I'm like, stop. Where's the boyfriend? Where's the husband? Where's the stop? And then you got the boyfriend and the husband. They get to the 8th inning. They can't even stand up at that point. It's like, you got to have something in between. Got to have something in between. All right, Mikey, topic number 4. After 5 games, I looked at both conferences, leagues, whatever you want to call them. There are this many. 0 undefeated teams in baseball after 5 days. Is this a good thing?
I believe it is, because there are teams like the hat I'm wearing of the Philadelphia Phillies where, no, the sky is not falling when you're 1-3. But what happened? Like, what are we doing? And there are so many storylines coming out of the first week of baseball. Is Paul Skeens human? Like, all these things really set up for a fun season. You have some high-class rookies coming to the spotlight in their first week. We would have never seen that 5 years ago. So I think the parity in baseball right now is just creating more attention and more storylines. So I love it.
And if you refer to that Phillies hat one more time, I need to actually see it. Because I can't tell that it's a Philly. No, I need you to pull it. Like, doing that doesn't work. If you're going to refer to it, I need to see the damn logo. And now I can tell it's a Phillies hat. Now I can. That's a pretty good hat, actually. Now that I can see it, Ian. All right, young Peyton, let me come over to you. Because right now, to me, the biggest story coming out of baseball is not that there's no undefeated teams. It's the ABS. And last night, you had the Yankees 5 for 5. But they lost the game. So Mr. Boone, after the game, was asked, but you nailed every one of those. He didn't care. He lost the damn game. Do you like the ABS and how much attention it's gotten so far?
I like how much attention. Yeah, it's the thing we've seen change in baseball since last season to this season. But what I love most about it is that it actually is pretty quick as far as the review process. It doesn't really delay the game that much. What I don't like about it is the fact that catchers have trained their entire lives to frame pitches, and now it doesn't even matter anymore. So it's also just a lose-lose situation for umpires, because then they have some pitches that aren't even close to the strike zone called strikes. You see the replay, you're like, oh my God, what kind of call was that? But yeah, this is the biggest story in baseball right now.
I would push back on that a little bit. If they're out of challenges in the 8th inning and you're framing, it matters. It matters. It's kind of like in basketball. You got to pick and choose. And these players that keep doing this, like real fast, I think you're going to see someone go, oh, crap, I shouldn't have done that. Am I right, Soupy?
Yeah, it's not just like you get an infinite amount of ABS challenges. Is if you lose a challenge, then you don't get that. You get 2 per game, but if you lose one, you only get 1 more. It's if you keep getting it right. That's why it's important, because if you don't have a challenge at the end of the game, or maybe you have 1 more, you might have to let a certain one slide, because in the future, maybe the one you need that's a called strike 3 in an important situation.
I wonder if there are players that the managers are, when you get to a certain point, they trust them and say, okay, you can do whatever you want. Because it's got to be pretty fast. It's got to be pretty fast. Go ahead, Subi, 15 seconds.
Dave Roberts says that on his team, like guys like Ohtani and Betts and Freeman, they all have free passes for him. So I think certain players do have the free pass while others don't.
Fantastic nugget. What's going on with Soupy today? What are we doing? My God, stepping his game up. All right, we're only halfway home. On the other side, a very special individual game of thumbs up or thumbs down. Also, who's the best team in the NBA Eastern Conference? And we lock it in. This is Coach and Company on a Tuesday, live on Stadium. Well, as you guys know, I've been very quiet on the Tiger Woods situation as a fan. He's my favorite athlete of all time. As a person who worked for the PGA Tour, you got to reserve, judgment on a lot of stories like this. But gentlemen, it comes out today. Tiger Woods said that he was looking at his phone right before the crash that happened at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We have no evidence yet on what was in his system, anything like that. But my question, Mikey, to you is when that's a headline, and this is what I hate sometimes about headlines, you just see it, then the natural reaction for people is, why is he even talking about the phone when he was either in talk something? Because you don't want to hear that as an excuse. What is your reaction when you hear Tiger say that?
Yeah, just the fact that you've already heard the police talk, we've seen the mugshot photo. Everything kind of speaks for itself in these situations. Innocent until proven guilty, but there's no covering up. I'd rather just see the ownership here in this situation because it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate side to one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen.
It's becoming somewhat of a pattern, and it's kind of spread out though, Peyton, that it's been 2017, then 2020, and most of the time it involves a car. I have been through it 20 years ago when you go through a bad accident and then you have those painkillers that you take, and sometimes you take them, you don't realize, and clearly he's driving, and this is not the first time. What's your take?
Yeah, it's unfortunate just seeing that he kind of wants to talk about anything besides the fact that the fact was that he was just not supposed to be behind the wheel when he was driving, and that's just how it was. And yeah, coach, it's been spread out over such a long period of time, which makes it worse, honestly, because it hasn't gotten any better, and here we are in 2026. So it's really tough, and Tiger's got the money to just buy himself a car that drives himself, honestly.
Yeah, at this point, get a driver he might be forced to get one too. All right, we're back. We're halfway home in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. If you're watching us live, it is 10:32 in the East, 7:32 in the West. I am the coach. This is Coach and Company live on the Stadium Network, also on YouTube. If you want to be completely interactive, the chat is absolutely popping today, so let's keep that going. We got to get into a little thumbs up or thumbs down because, gentlemen, we're getting down to 5 or 6 games left in the NBA season, which means we're down to 5 or 6 games left in the race for a lot of these NBA awards. So I want to start with this because Wemby last night, he continues to set records, continues to do things. So this first one is 41 points, 16 rebounds. That's not the story. The story is this was a third fastest double-double since the 1997-1998 season. Third fastest, 8 minutes, 31 seconds. So thumbs up or thumbs down, Mikey. Wemby right now is a player you want to watch the most in the entire league.
Absolutely. 1000%. He brings it every single game. As a basketball fan, I never, whether it's on a betting slip or just from a personal interest story, I never have to worry, hey, is Wemby going to play? Because if he is healthy, there is no sitting out for this guy. When you talk about most valuable player, take him off the Spurs. I don't know what San Antonio is without him except a struggling 500 team. So for me, Wemby, absolutely appointment viewing. I'm tuning in every single day.
Thumbs up for me, too. And I don't even care if the Spurs win a game or not as well. I just appreciate how hard he plays defensively. How many times have we seen guys his size be so lazy as far as lateral quickness is concerned? The fact that he recovers on defense better than anybody at his size, it's really fun to watch. And when he hits a jump shot from the clip, it's something that I just simply can't get used to. I won't get used to it because he's 7'5". Seeing that he has been able, or what he's been able to do is just not, it's the most impressive thing I've ever seen, and it's the most enjoyable thing I can watch right now.
Huge thumbs up. You're looking at the Spurs franchise. They've had two of the best big men in probably the last 30 years, David Robertson and Tim Duncan. I think you could start to add Wemby into that mix, and he is a huge factor because when he was out, the Spurs were 23rd in defensive rating. When he's in, they are top 10 defense. He is very important to this team, and I love watching him every night.
It's going to be 4 for 4 because I'm with you on that thumbs up. And guys, when you look at how the whole team is playing, 9 straight wins, that's awesome. They're scoring north of 125 every single night, which means their offense is clicking. I think he's probably 3 or 4 years ahead of where the Spurs thought he would be when they drafted him a couple of years ago. This guy's going to be an iconic Hall of Famer. The only question is, how many titles will he be able to win? That's the question. Now, let's stay with that MVP theme because last night the Lakers blew out the Washington Wizards without Luka Doncic, but yet he was the topic after the game, and Mikey, JJ Redick said that Luka should be the MVP. My question is, though, thumbs up or thumbs down, should you be fighting for your guy on a night where he didn't play as a healthy scratch?
Thumbs down, Coach. He didn't play. He received a 16th technical. He was suspended. Kind of convenient you're suspended for the Wizards game. Wow, great move there, Luka. No, I don't want Luka Doncic a part of the MVP conversation right now because there's a lot of layers to what JJ Redick said as well. Oh, his body looks good. Finally, it's March 31st today, and we're talking about his body, and finally he's paying attention to it. Just because he's keeping the Lakers afloat as they're in a very tough Western Conference doesn't mean Luka's the MVP, and he shouldn't be getting 16 technicals either. It means he complains too much.
Thumbs up. I think Luka Doncic is MVP worthy. The guy's been on an absolute tear. He's what the Lakers are right now offensively. He's everything for the Lakers. When he doesn't play, Lakers stink. They simply stink. But yeah, last night, you know who else stinks? The Wizards. And has anyone actually sat down and watched a couple defensive possessions from the Wizards right now, by the way? That is embarrassing. And those guys are like trying to make the team next year, and it's embarrassing. But Lakers with Luka Doncic, yes, I think Luka Doncic definitely in the MVP conversation.
100%. Luka Doncic, to me, I think he is the leading MVP candidate because he's the top scorer in the league. And I think if he isn't in that lineup this season, the Lakers are barely even a play-in team. That's how good he is. That's how important he is, especially with a lot of injuries that the Lakers have had this season. It has been Luka Doncic that have kept them afloat.
What is wrong with you two? I mean, what are we doing? Big thumbs down for me as a former two-time Conference Player of the Year, as a former small college All-American. Part of doing that, I was the team captain for 3 seasons. It's called leadership. And you should be able, you're right, you go ahead and laugh, Peyton. Look up the numbers. Look them up. Part of it is leadership. And don't tell me you cannot not get technical fouls. It's called simply not talking to the refs. He did this on purpose so he could miss this game. That's why I said a healthy scratch. He scratched himself. That was kind of weird to say, but you know what I'm talking about. And if you can't be a better leader than this and get suspended, what if they were in a tight race for the 7 seed or the play-in or home court throughout? What then? Are we calling him an MVP? No, we would not be. It's called leadership. It's part of being an MVP. Now, last night, SGA, back-to-back nights. They beat the Knicks, then they beat the Pistons in overtime. 47 points. He was asked about this MVP after the game. He said, quote, I let my playing talk for me. Yeah. Thumbs up or thumbs down. It's good to have one of the faces of the league be so boring.
Thumbs up. You let your play do the talking for you? You mean foul baiting? You mean when you finally got an offensive foul called on you yesterday, you said, not me. It couldn't be me, Mr. Referee. And then the game goes into overtime and you barely beat the Pistons without Cade Cunningham. SGA's play at times is a mockery of what true basketball is. And you shouldn't let your play do the talking. You should stand on business.
There's nothing quiet about 47 points last night and getting your team to 60-16 last night, too. Nothing quiet about showing up to the game wearing lion fur, cheetah print, black sunglasses on it, with pants that he stole from Wemby. They're so gigantic. There's nothing quiet about SGA. He's one of the biggest egos in the league, and just because in every interview he talks about his teammates and not himself, with towels over him and the reporter's head, that's great, and that's really nice of him, but he's got an ego, and he might come off as quiet, but he's still the MVP of the NBA, so that's egotistic enough.
I think that Oklahoma City is a boring team, so why not the best player be the most boring player? He's on his business. Yes, he is very good at what he does, but in a star-driven league, which the NBA is, you are the best player in the league. You need to be a star. Sometimes take credit for yourself. Be on that ego, man. You're a champion. Be on your ego.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm going to go thumbs down, too. The problem is that he's going to get a Supermax, or he's going to get $300 million plus. And this is an issue on the PGA Tour as well, because I want to work with these players and make them understand you can have a gigantic brand, but you have to be entertaining. But when you make so much playing the game, you don't care about what you make outside of the game. So he can be as boring as he wants to be, but I don't want my MVP to be that. Just give me a little fist pound. Just a little fist pound. Something. Now, topic number 4. It's technically an MVP candidate, but it's a story that, quite honestly, I never thought I would have to report. So last night, as the game starting with the Timberwolves, they're walking out onto the court, and they are thinking about, well, what player are we going to run to start the game? And I'm looking at the score right now as I look at my notes. They won by 30, so not the biggest issue. 124-94, the Mavericks suck. But there was no Anthony Edwards. Panic! Panic if you're back home in Minnesota and you turn the game on at 7:38 and there's no Ant. But let's relax. Let's relax. It wasn't a big issue. Or was it? He missed the first 2 minutes of the game because nature called. You fill in the blanks. Mikey P, have you ever heard of a game not having their star player because of these reasons? And thumbs up or thumbs down, the league should have waited 2 minutes for him to get finished?
Thumbs down. This isn't a tissue issue, Coach. We don't know what he ate before the game. If it's Chipotle, how long are we waiting on Anthony Edwards? I think just by the nick of time, the way things worked out, it was only a 2-minute miss. Maybe he realized they were playing the Mavericks and said, maybe I'll just read a magazine while I'm in here. I don't know. I mean, good on the league. They just get the game going because it was a 30-point win for Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think they should have waited for anything. They shouldn't have stopped the game for Edwards. But when nature calls, sometimes you have to miss things. What was he going to do? Go on the PA system before and say, hey, guys, give me about 2 minutes. Got to go to the bathroom real quick. Although, yes, it would have been easy for the NBA to delay it an extra 2 minutes because they never start on time anyways anymore. You can't delay it because someone has to go to the bathroom. That wouldn't go down well.
Thumbs down. He didn't need to miss any time. I grew up playing baseball, so there have been times where like, oh, shoot, I'm on deck. Wait, I got to go run to the woods for a quick minute. Let's hopefully he works the count a little bit. But no, shouldn't have waited for him. It was 2 minutes. Who cares?
Yeah, mine's a thumbs down as well. But I was thinking, as I was laughing at the story, I was thinking, what if this happened in other sports? For example, what if you have a tee time at 7:40 a.m., and you're like, oh, snap. Are they going to wait, push your tee time? Are you going to take it's a 2-shot penalty if you're not there on time? I mean, there's a lot of things going to happen. What if in the NFL, you're the starting quarterback? What do? What if you're the leadoff hitter in Major League Baseball? What do? Move him to the 9th hole? Literally?
I know what they do in the NFL, Coach.
What?
I had a high school teacher who worked on the sidelines of Bears games. Matt Leinart had to go. He decided my teacher's equipment bag was the best place to go on the sidelines. So shout out Matt Leinart.
That is not true. That is not true.
I just made it up.
That is not true. That is like the worst joke of all time. Literally. The worst joke. All right, coming up on the other side, we have 10 plays for you today. 7-3. we've got a Coach and Brolette wheel giveaway tomorrow, so we got to lock it in. Also, the NBA winding down. April is tomorrow. Who is the best team in the East right now? Because there's only 3 that have qualified for the playoffs officially. This is Coach and Company. We are live on the Stadium Network. All right, you degenerates. We continue on here on our YouTube page. Mikey, I got to start with you on this one because this is a Boston Celtics story. Joe Mazzulla, who is kind of a weird cat anyway, was asked about being the coach of the year because the Celtics have had a great year so far without Jason Tatum for almost all of it. And he said, nope, don't want to be coach of the year. It's about the players. Does he understand that this has nothing to do with the players?
I don't think Joe Mazzulla understands the world, and the world doesn't understand Joe Mazzulla. This is a guy who's also this year, coach said, I go to sleep questionable, I wake up probable, and all these escape rooms should actually be like high-level military-grade escape rooms. Joe, it is not that serious. Please take a step back, enjoy life a little bit. You're having plenty of success. Just go outside, touch some grass, and put a smile on your face.
Soupy.
I can't believe, like, every time I hear a story about Joe Mazzulla, I'm like, it can't top the last one I heard about Joe Mazzulla. And it continues to top the last story. He is an interesting guy, but I don't care because he gets you to a championship every year.
He gets you right there, Peyton. He's turned into a really good coach when he almost got fired a couple of years ago, but then he settled in. I think he's going to be there as long as he wants.
Yeah, it's always the coaches who are in the best positions that make it somehow weird, too. If they sucked, then this would be a completely different story. Be like, this is a weird cat. Let's get him out of here. But they are so good right now, the Celtics, and they got Tatum back. They got a good future this year.
They do. Right now, they're in a weird spot, I guess, for how much do you want to play Tatum, how much you're willing, because right now they're 4 games back at Detroit, 2 games ahead of New York. So they're in a weird spot. They've got 7 games left, too. We're going to talk about the entire Eastern Conference playoff race coming up. Also, we're going to lock it in. We have 10 plays. I would encourage you to grab your paper, grab your pencil, just like I do. You can always learn. You can always learn no matter how smart you are. I promise. All right, we are back live on the Stadium Network. Count it down for me. 7, 6, 5 seconds. A little NBA showcase. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Coach and Company coming up in about 4 or 5 minutes. We're going to lock in all of our best bets for the day, and thank God that baseball's back, so we have a lot to choose from right now. But, gentlemen, as I look at the NBA standings, Detroit 54-21, first place. They lose last night in overtime. Cade Cunningham, I think it's a blessing in disguise. They may keep the number 1 seed even without him. Celtics 4 back at 50-25. Then you got the Knicks 48-27, 6 games back, 2 back of the 2 seed. So one very simple question. And Soupy, I'm going to start with you on this one. Right now, who's the best team in the East?
I still think it's the Celtics. I think right now they just need to get Tatum back into a groove. They need to build that chemistry back with him in it. I think as the playoffs go on, he's going to start to play 30, 35 minutes. And if he's back in that mix, I think they're the best team.
Peyton, what about you?
I agree with him. I will say an honorable mention, though, last night, the Detroit Pistons against the Thunder in OKC without Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. They took OKC to overtime. That was a great game, and they actually had a chance to win at Jenkins at the end of the fourth quarter. But I will say the Celtics as well, just because of the fact that they got Tatum back in the position that they were already in. So now it's just gravy from there getting Jason Tatum back. So what can they do in the playoffs? I think they come out of the East.
Right now, these 3 teams, Mikey, are the only 3 that know that they are going and where they're kind of going, if that makes any sense. But they're all playing at different levels. When you watch these 3 play, I'll ask you the same question. Who's the best in your mind?
Yeah, it's the Celtics. I'm going to quote Jaylen Brown, 50 wins in a gap year. Isn't that interesting, right? And you talk about Jason Tatum. He just won Eastern Conference Player of the Week He's been back for 3 weeks. The game on Sunday against the Charlotte Hornets, when there was no Jaylen Brown, no Derek White, he's back, folks. There's no waiting on Jason Tatum anymore. I think the Celtics, led by Joe Mazzulla, are going to play tough down the stretch. They're going to play these guys down the stretch because, yeah, they may not catch Detroit, but they have to hold off New York. And being on the road for the rest of their regular season, for the most part, I think Joe Mazzulla is going to test his guys.
It's an interesting topic, really, and it's interesting that you think that. Peyton, let me come right back to you. Because right now they would play, and again, the play-in tournament makes it difficult to say they would play this team, but right now it would be Philadelphia. It would be the Sixers. If they would fall to 3, then would be Atlanta. Peyton, do you think it matters to them who they play over trying to make sure they get Jason Tatum into playing shape, into playoff playing shape, which is a completely different animal?
I think a completely different animal is the Sixers and Atlanta in the postseason, Coach. If you go ahead and play the Sixers, who just got back Paul George and Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey's now healthy, if those 3 play, they can beat anybody. I don't care what you talk about. And VJ Edgecombe has been fantastic for them this year. He's been playing all season and just getting experience more than anybody on that team. So Sixers actually are a stay on your toes play in the Eastern Conference, but the Celtics, I think, take them in 5 games.
All right, Soupy, bring it home for us because young Peyton, as always, prepared. And this is where injuries can sometimes make a team look worse than they are. Because when you get healthy at the end of March, that's a great thing. Your take?
And that's what Philadelphia is. You get Paul George back. You get Joel Embiid back. They have looked good. And the Hawks, who would have thought after Trae Young they would have surged like they have? They're playing great. And Charlotte, who is in the play-in tournament, has been one of the hottest teams over the last few months. So it doesn't. These top 3 teams, that first round, they might have to stay on their toes, or else they could get upset in the first round. I think one of those top 3 teams does get upset in the first round.
Did you say who would have thought Atlanta would surge without the most selfish player in the history of the NBA? I did. That dude, when he got his bag, I was like, it's over. Because he never played hard before. Now he's certainly not even playing half the time. All right, gentlemen, well done. Good discussion. All right, we got to lock in laser focus. It's time to lock it in. All right, 10 seconds or less, just 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need. Mikey P, start us off.
Andrew Painter on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies, who need a win after the first 4 games going 1-3. So 5 or more Ks for Andrew Painter against the Washington Nationals. With that game, Phillies minus 1.5 on the run line against Washington. And another team that needs a little bit of a get back against the Colorado Rockies, who put up 14 runs on the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll take the Blue Jays minus 1.5 tonight.
Already throwing out run lines. Oh, a little tear down my eye. Young Peyton, let's go.
Coach, if you only need 1 or 2 nuggets, this is really easy. Dodgers lost last night, so they're going to win by 2 tonight with Ohtani on the mound. And Jameson Taillon going against the Angels, that's all you need to know. Over strikeouts, please. Let's do it.
Soupy, let's go. Canadian Lightning over 6.5, both averaging 3.5 goals per game, both top 10 in power plays, and they've in both games have gone over the total. Clippers minus 5.5. They've won 5 straight, 3 of those games by 10 plus. So I think they could do this over the Trailblazers. And the stay on your toes play is the Clippers. Darius Garland, 27 plus points and assists. He's averaging 25 points and 7 assists over his last 5 games. And he and Kawhi, if they're going to make noise in the playoffs, those two have to work off each other, which I think they will.
I told you, have your paper, have your pencil. You never know. We need to add one that's not on the screen. Now, for me, I got 2 plays in the NBA. Staying away from totals right now. I like the Suns, +2 on the road in Orlando. The Magic are in free fall mode. The Suns, they're playing really well. They won by 26 yesterday, and I think they continue that momentum. Booker had 36 in that win. They won 2 in a row. Then the Rockets have also won 2 in a row by 32 and by 10. And the Knicks just got rocked by the Thunder a couple of nights ago. I love the Rockets getting 1 at home at minus 113. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, Raphael, who is in the chat today. By the way, Carl has some tennis picks he put in the chat yesterday if you want to check those out and you like tennis. Apparently, the Shohei Ohtani Cup is going for over $300 on eBay because I'm assuming they've sold out. So $79 or $75 feels like a bargain, does it not, Peyton?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Taylor Swift popcorn bucket, that's what that turned into. It's the same deal.
Wow, Soupy, $300 on eBay?
Do you get the free refills with that? Then maybe it's a bargain. I don't know.
I would doubt that they're going to ask for a receipt when you bring it to Dodger Stadium, but that would be kind of low-key savage if they did. It really would be, huh, Mikey?
It would be, but again, got to go back to it, Coach. For $300, I could get 2 seasons worth of home games for the Chicago White Sox. I mean, why would I spend that much money? I'd rather go watch baseball.
All right, speaking of spending money, we've got the 2 Count coming up at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, episode number 3. It's our latest show from BTT Studios, and the numbers have been out of this world. It's so popular. But I got to ask you, we have 2 wrestling questions. Would you pay $10,000 to ride around on a bus in Vegas with Cody Rhodes for about 30 minutes? Or would you pay $11,500 to make pasta in Italy with an unnamed WWE superstar? Soupy, go.
Give me the pasta in Italy. I think that could be an interesting one.
What if El Grande Americano shows up and not Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns? There's that, because it's unnamed. They get to pick it. Peyton, what about you?
Can I save my money? Is that okay, Coach?
Yeah, you can, of course. Of course.
Yeah, I'm 21, so I'm going to save my money.
Neither one? Oh, I wish I had that mentality when I was 21. Mikey, which one would you rather do?
I'll go to Italy. I'll do some sightseeing. I'll make some pasta, but I will throw a fit if I'm not making pasta with Danhausen. Please make it worth my while.
Oh, my God. Oh, don't get me started. All right, do not forget, in addition to the 2 Count, our very first premium watch-along tonight, become a premium member right now. WrestleMania 18, The Rock and Hogan, I was a part of it. Vince Russo has never seen it. 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, our first one ever. We're going to do at least one a month. In the meantime, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire team, Limbo, Mikey P, Young Peyton, Mr. Soupy, and producer man always behind the scenes making the show look like $1 million. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about. I can't wait for today. I cannot wait for today. I love it, and I love it because of all of you. But this show, this is Coach and Company. We're live, as always, right here on the Stadium Network. Good luck today.